The letter that Paul previously wrote to the Corinthians, not 1 Corinthians, but this mysterious letter that we don't have record of today, Paul was apparently pretty harsh with them in rebuking some of the things that were going on in the church. So harsh that it indicates Paul was concerned, and it was he almost regretted the way he handled it until the word came back around that his rebuke had created in them a sorrow that led to godly repentance. So when we're looking here specifically at this verse, what we see is that sorrow and suffering in and of themselves are not healing or purifying. You know, we can wallow in our guilt over things all day long and it doesn't change us. But what Paul says is that there's really always two responses to sorrow, that there is this godly sorrow that produces life and salvation, and it's that godly sorrow that leads to repentance. And then there's this worldly sorrow, this tu kosmou, as it's said in the Greek, that in us it produces resentment and bitterness. So anytime we're dealing with issues of guilt, there are those two options in front of us. And any human being living today knows and has experienced what it is to have chosen both of those things at different times. So when we're talking about how important is repentance, what we're really asking is, how much does it matter what's going on in this internal place inside of us? Repentance matters in terms of, do we want there to be in us life and salvation and hope and things growing in our heart that really lead us closer to Christ? Or are we comfortable with bitterness and resentment growing that separates us not only from God, but from the people in our lives? So for me, repentance is really it's a relational issue.